Hey YouTube! Oh no, it's another Harley Benton. Yes, not really sure about this one yet. Apparently I did a review of this. This is my pal Liam, so I think he gave it to his wee cousin or something like that a couple of years ago. So I did a review of this. This is before I was really before I made any decisions on Harley Benton, and apparently in the video I said it was okay. So, growing endorsement from the last time I played it. It's been I think it's been fidgeted with a little bit. The strings on it were very old as well. It's like I was getting in because it was buzzing, choking out here. Which it's not doing anymore. I think maybe one of the problems is just there's as low as you can get an action on a guitar. Something like this, you can tell just by looking at it. You know, Japanese Paul Gilbert Ibanez. Yes, Ibanez. It's a new pronunciation. Ibanez. Obviously, you can get the action of these things down to nothing. You know, it's a Formula One car. It's designed for that. It's also very expensive. Kind of one of the things that obviously things like the build quality of these things are just ridiculous. You know, it's so accurate. That's not what Harley Benton is. Harley Benton, although you get ones that look like that. You know, you can get. I mean, whatever the equivalent Ibanez is to this will be much less fancy looking, and it won't have the name brand stuff on it, and you know, it'll be like a really basic Ibanez you'd be looking at. I don't know, like a Geo, something like that. But you can make them get into the Formula One thing. So I've got it. It's playing alright. Got the action down to 1.75mm, and then things start going. I had to hammer some of the frets in and lower some of the other ones, just to make it play normally. Yeah, so we've got two humbuckers. This is it's a CST-24 Deluxe. Yeah, I was going to say it's a custom 24, isn't it? But it's a CST, which doesn't mean custom 24 like what the PRS guitar is. Just coincidence that it's called a CST, not a custom 24, CST-24. Yeah, so I floated the bridge because it should have a floating bridge. It's actually got a coil split as well on it, so this should be quite good. Bridge. Neck. That's it, single coil. Let's tone. Rat pedal. And humbucker. alright. It was fine. It's just one of these things. It's like when you're getting to the guitars like this. If I'm spending, I don't know, I'm assuming this is what, 200 quid, 300 quid maybe, something like that. I would want that 300 quid spent on building the guitar really well, not on fancy tops, fancy bridge, and these things. But that's where Harley Benton really do have their ace up their sleeve, because they can produce guitars that look on paper just like a PRS SE, but it's half the price. And it's like, yeah, whereas if you look at like the lower end Ibanez or Yamahas, you get your Yamaha ERG 121, which is a really boring looking guitar, probably costs about the same as this. It's just a black super strat, no fancy stuff on it whatsoever, but really well built. Not made of the best materials. This has been made of much better materials and of all much better hardware and look better, but where they didn't put any money on who it was that actually assembled it. So it's not bad. It's in tones. To be fair, I have set this up before, about a year and a half ago, or whenever it was I had it in. Maybe before lockdown, maybe a bit longer than that. So it's not factory done. I've done work on this before, but since then some of the frets have popped out, and I think it's been adjusted by people as well. The truss rod was just slightly too straight. But basically it came in because it was buzzing. It was kind of choking out, just doing that sort of thing. Just a case of, there is a point where every guitar, even an Ibanez RG, once you get the action down, so there's a point where it can take an action to a certain height. Once you get to that height, it just starts choking out all over the place. Every guitar's got a point where that happens. It's much lower on some guitars than it is on other ones. Like the most expensive and best built guitars, you can just physically get them lower because the accuracy's there all the way through. I mean, I did do the frets in this, but they're not, the accuracy's just not there. But I was even bad mouthing it. It's not shit. I'm not saying that. That one that we had, turned out to be Paul Gemmell's the guy who I did who depping in that blues band for, his band. It was his Harley Benton that me and Scott ripped the absolute piss out of because it was terrible. He did send it back. He also said, yeah, that was awful. I sent it back and got my money back and bought one at twice the price. And it is really good. And it's like, as soon as I said that, it's like, is it? Is it? I noticed that you didn't give that one to Scott to have a wee look at. So we don't know. But it might be alright. In the grand scheme of things, I like the old Japanese guitars anyway. So it's like they're the same. So I'm a wee bit skewed with what you can get. I look at this and someone says, it's a £300 guitar, £250 guitar. You're kind of getting into the region where you can start to get, maybe not one of the ones you can see, but that kind of, you're not far off that, getting an 80s Japanese guitar for that kind of money, which is obviously, it's as good as what this is copying type thing, but yeah. So I'm going to see Pete and Diesel tonight. I've probably managed to put this video up tonight. I've got one for the West Tone Thunder bass, but I'll put that out, sneak that out during the week. I'm going to see Pete and Diesel, and I got a really bizarre text off Tony, the guy who runs Blitzkrieg Shop. I was like, yeah, I'm still on for tonight, what time do you want to meet up? And he said something about watching the football. I was like, I'm not watching football. What are you doing? He's like, good news. Boydie's going to put a Buckycaster in the band in Pete and Diesel. Something about coming down from the roof. So I don't know, I'm in my head, it's like, this might be ridiculous. Is he going to come down from like the lighting gantry on like wires like Peter Pan during the set? Maybe, I don't know. Playing a Buckycaster, that would be something. This is the guy I built the Ibanez one for. Well, didn't build it for him, but it was definitely the thought of like piano, because quite fun. I want to get some famous folk playing Buckycasters. The Buckycaster, the one I kind of made from, it's like, it already was sort of 7-Up can green. It's like a metallic green, yellow scratch plate, red DiMarzio type pickups in it. It's an Ibanez RS, not an RG, because it's not quite as pointy. It's a little bit somewhere between an RG and a Strat kind of thing. But it's a really good guitar. I also remember I put a special kind of switch in, which I'd forgotten I did in it. It's got a 3-way switch, so it's got 2 humbuckers and a 3-way switch, but in the middle position, because having 2 humbuckers on is not really a sound I use that much. It's they're both coil split, so you get the inner the outer coils. I can't remember whatever one's hum cancelling. So you get like, well, you can do all those sounds with this guitar. So in the bridge position you've got humbucker, and in the neck position you've got humbucker, but in the middle you've got the single coil. Which I thought was a really good idea. I've not done that to any of my guitars yet. I need to have a... It's not happened to Paul Gilbert because he's got an HSH. So I need an HH guitar that I can put that's got a lever switch that I can put a 3-way lever in and make it do that. Because I mean, my favourite sounds on a guitar with this layout is that middle sort of Telecaster in the middle sound, and then the 2 humbuckers on either end is what I would. A bit more for the racks though, eh? And then neck, and then in the middle it would be this. Don't they all sound exactly the same when I've used the rack pedal? Here when you're playing leads. Rocking. So, yeah, it's alright. The thing is, I'm kind of skewed against it anyway because I don't really know why. I don't really like the look of PRSs. I never have. Going purely by look, and that's, I know, maybe I'm just shallow. I am. I don't care, but and everyone is. You know, it's like what it looks like makes a big difference. I mean, there's no surprise that that I really love that white Strat. Just look at the way it looks, or the wee red bass. I mean, it was already amazing, but now it's even more playable because it looks like that. As long as you look, if you feel it's cool, and it looks cool, you're more likely to play it. And if you think this looks cool, and this is your thing, you're more likely to play it. Maybe there's even a guy in my live stream who doesn't like Telecasters. What? But yeah, on it, then fair enough, totally. I never used to like Telecasters. Maybe one day I'll like a PRS. I don't know. I do actually quite like the look of the. I've never played one. Is it the Santana one? It's kind of like a Les Paul Jr. with like a P90 in it. I kind of like the look of that one. I suppose it's just one of those things again. It's like with the fanciness, and I'm sitting there with a fucking Washburn Falcon in the wall. But you know, it's like all the fanciness and the kind of furniture thing. When it's really expensive, doesn't really do anything for me. And saying that I'm aware I've got the most expensive piece of furniture there. You know, it's like, yes, I do. So I have dabbled and I've got one. So yes, rock on.